Hey guys, this is Julie with Deep Soul Counsel, and I have a really important message that I am going to channel for you. You're going to have to bear with me because, channeling is not the easiest thing to do always. I don't hear a voice and repeat what I hear. I get it in the form of energy waves and emotions that match that which I see. So I have to combine those expressions and do my best to kind of like interpret them into English spoken word. So I know I talk fast and I'm sporadic, and oftentimes I even repeat myself, but it's to understand better. For example, if you were looking at a document and it was more complicated, you're going to have to study it and maybe reread it several times before you grasp the entirety of what you're meant to comprehend from that, right? And the same thing goes when I channel. I am looking over what I'm getting and receiving and trying to understand the point or the entirety of the guidance that I'm meant to give you, right? So just a backstory. This started with me. I didn't know I'd be making this video for you. I was looking for guidance in relation to an area of my life that I feel is dark. We all have darkness. It doesn't matter how great your life is. There exists darkness within you or within your life, right? Around certain areas. That's just how it is. And so I was looking for answers as to why. Oftentimes we avoid those darker places because there's no light there, we can't see, and we don't feel good there. But I wanted to understand it so that I could hopefully not get away from it, but like learn to love myself there, you know what I mean? And understand why it was happening. I needed answers. I got my answers in the form of a poem, and I thought that was the end. But as the day went on, I realized that this was something that was important, that was going to need extended in a video for you guys as well. So that's what I am here doing. Now, before I get started, I just want to remind you guys, I have already published the video readings for May 2018. If you haven't watched yours yet, the link is below. Hit the link and hit videos. So I'm going to start with the poem that is kind of that set the whole day, right? I was thrown in dirt and covered in darkness. And at the time it pissed me off because it felt so heartless. I had no idea that I was a seed and that I have been planted within everything I need. I felt so abandoned, but what I didn't know, my struggle to reach the light would be the reason that I grow. Now, take that and apply that to you. I feel like a lot of you are that seed in that darkness, and you don't know that you're a seed. You don't know that there's light. You don't know that you're being planted. You feel thrown. You feel abandoned in that area, whatever area that is. You feel neglected. You feel cold, lonely, shame, whatever it is. And you have no idea that you're actually being planted, that you are a seed. You know what I mean? So I feel like if we can understand why we're in those dark places, it will help us to be okay with the process. But let's take a look at darkness for a second. What is it? When we say this part of me is dark, it really means this part of me is undesirable, or I view this part of me as less than the rest of me. I view this dark part of me as less valuable than the rest of who I am, right? I view this darkness in me as a flaw or a limitation. I view this darkness as something that I don't want to be part of, and that's why it's dark, right? But that darkness is your place of power, right? Because from that darkness, you can grow. Now, when you ask for something, we just talked about darkness was the feeling of less than and lack and what we didn't want, right? And so all day long, we're shooting out rockets of desire, contrasting and comparing. Every thought we have sends out signals. What we do want, what we don't want, what we want to experience, what we don't want to experience, what we want to feel, what we don't want to feel, who we like, who we don't like, etc., right? And when we see something that we want or that we desire or something we want to connect to, a person that we want to connect to, something that we want that we feel we don't have, that creates a place of darkness. Now, that place of darkness exists for one reason only. It is to be the place where the seed is planted, the seed that will help you get to whatever you just sent out that you wanted, whatever you just sent out that you desired, whatever you just said or felt consciously or unconsciously, right, that you want to experience, and you realize you don't have it, but you want it, automatically your seed gets planted in that place. Because from that place, it can grow, right? Struggle to reach the light. The light is what you want. So everything that you want, you're already attached to. Everything that you want is an extension of the all that is. You are an extension of the all that is. So technically, you're already connected to everything you desire. Now, the thing is, what you want is on a different vibration than where you are. You know that because you don't have it. Everything that you have is on the same vibration as you. The things that you don't want, or the things that you want, are on a different vibration. If they were on your vibration, you would have them, right? So we underestimate and we forget about the gap between where we are and where we want to be, or one version of ourselves from the other. The seed goes in the dirt as seed. It comes out a plant or a tree, or, something brilliant, something that's going to grow big, something that's going to provide value, right, for the rest of the world. And our only way to get to the place of where we want to be is to be planted, but the planting comes from that dark place where we realize that we didn't have what we wanted in the first place, right? They say you attract what you want, you attract what you don't want. Automatically, by realizing that we don't have that relationship, or we don't have the personality that we want, we don't have the connection with that person that we want, whatever created, whatever we looked at as lacking within us, created a desire, and a desire came in the form of a seed, and so it planted itself in that place where you felt lack. That's your darkness, right? Undervalued, or whatever it is, whatever you wanted to enhance, that you looked at as absent from you, a dark piece of you, it became the place where what you want could grow. Now, that seed, the dirt was necessary. The darkness was necessary. The loneliness was necessary. The abandonment was necessary. The inconvenient rain that was pouring down on it, it was all necessary. It all helped. It was the environment that the seed needed to grow. The darkness that you are experiencing right now is the environment that you need to grow. The people in it, the details in it, good and bad, whatever is within that darkness, it is necessary. It is a necessary piece. And it provides the necessary environment for that seed to grow. You are the seed in that place. Am I making sense? So if you can realize that you're a seed, and you know that because you say, I am dark here. So in that place, if you see darkness, you have been planted. Realize that you're a fucking seed. Seriously, you know what I mean? Instead of worrying about there's not going to be light, or the struggle of being in the darkness, the struggle of being under the dirt, the struggle of just being left there, the struggle of the emotions that you feel from that place, instead of focusing on that, focus on the fact that you're just a seed. I think if you can realize that you're a seed, you don't have to feel all those other negative emotions. You can realize that it's part of getting you to where you want to be. It's forcing you, really, because it's almost like if you could move from here to there, you would, but you can't. There's a process to move from one vibration to another. there's going to be a process. The you that's in darkness, whatever piece of you that's in darkness right now, or that you view as dark, that's not the same you that's going to reach that which you want, right? The seed goes in a seed and it comes out something else. You, that dark place of you, it's going to be something else once you get where you want to go. You're going to be a different version of that. Do you understand? So it's temporary. We have to look at that as temporary, and every single person and detail and situation in it as necessary. Because that's what's going to, the struggle to the light is what's going to make you grow. All right, so everything you want, you may say, man, I try to manifest and I never get shit. Well, if you have darkness in the place that you feel you lack, the place where you're trying to manifest at, then your manifesting is working. You just sent out that desire. Your higher self said, okay, I got you. Let me take that place you feel lack, which is the darkness. Let me plant a seed that represents you, right? Let me plant a seed there so that it can grow and reach the place that you want to go. You know what I mean? But you got to come up from the dirt. You have to come up from the darkness. You can't just skip from here to here. There's a process of moving in vibration. You know what I mean? When you move from one vibration to another, it's a process. We forget about what it's going to take to get from here to here. We just want to get here, but we forget about the person that we have to become or what we have to go through to understand the whatever it is that's going to match us here. We have to go through all these things before we become the person who can hold on to this vibration. You know what I mean? We have to become the person who matches this vibration. If you want a better relationship, you have to be the kind of person who can sustain a good relationship. And sometimes that takes you evaluating yourself in a dark place that you deemed dark in the first place because you desired something better. It provided a dark place for a seed to grow to get you something better. You know what I mean? So it's all happening for you, but you have to understand the process as necessary. We say all things happen for a reason, but saying that and actually accepting that on an internal level is completely different, and it's much harder to do. So you're being asked to realize that you're just a fucking seed. That's all you are. You know what I mean? You're a seed in that darkness. You are not that darkness. You don't have to run from that darkness. Don't try to escape that darkness. Learn to love yourself there. Learn to love yourself there. Don't avoid it. You know what I mean? It's like you're avoiding the place of what's going to give you life. You know, we avoid that place because it's dark, but it's that place where we need to go for that life to grow. You know what I mean? It's that place that we need to tend to. It's that place that we need to de-weed. It's that place that we need to pay attention to. It is that dark place within us, because that darkness within us is our indicator that we feel we are lacking in that area. And so your higher self went to work to fix that by planting a seed. But the seed is you. And you don't know you've been planting most of the time. I know you feel like you could have moved on without that loss, without that rejection, without that betrayal, without that relationship, without that negative experience. You feel like, oh, I could have moved on without that. I didn't need that. You know what I mean? But if you didn't need it, it wouldn't have happened. You see, your being, your higher self, it's not going to allow you to experience negative, what you view as negative things, unless the outcome or the benefits outweigh the pain. You see what I'm saying? Any pain that you feel, it's only being allowed to happen because the benefits that will come from that outweigh the pain or outweigh the discomfort. Do you understand what I'm saying? Anything that you feel that you feel is less than desirable, you're feeling that because the benefits from learning from that experience, from growing from that experience, are going to outweigh whatever struggle you had to face to get there or go through. And I can promise you the pain of struggling to reach the light does not hurt as bad as not moving. Do you understand what I'm saying? regardless, you're going to be forced to move. You've been planted. The grass grows through the concrete. I mean, you were put in a place where there was a higher or a more powerful source and just the right circumstances to grow you, right? You were put in the place where the perfect circumstances were around, that you needed to grow from that place. The problem is that we don't realize it's a growing ground. You know what I mean? And so we don't put in effort to grow or to know, you know? If we don't know that we're supposed to be learning from there, or we don't know what to learn from there, then it's like it takes forever for that seed to sprout. So it's just like in the struggle, in the struggle, in the struggle. But it's eventually going to get to the light. Like you're being forced up. You know what I mean? When we're planted, it's like we're forced to grow from that place. And all the emotions that we experience, we have to realize that, you know, those emotions are just because we view where we are as something bad. But that dark part of you is not bad. You know what I mean? That dark part of you is wonderful. Without that dark part, you don't have the environment that you need to grow into what you need to grow into to get what you want or get where you want. Now, some of you have been in a dark area, a specific dark area in your lives for an extended period of time. And you say, man, if I was a fucking seed, I would have grown by now. But if you're avoiding that, you know what I mean? And you're avoiding and you say, shame on you, shame on you, shame on you. I mean, when you encourage something, it grows better, right? But when you say shame on you, shame on you, shame on you, you really like put a brake on the growth, on the way you could move. You know, when we shame ourselves or shame a seed that represents who we are, it's not going to be eager to grow. It's not going to be eager to break. You know, it's not seeing the light. It's hearing you shame it. It's hearing you degrade it. It's hearing you angry with it. It's not hearing, you know, it doesn't have a chance to realize that there's light. So it's afraid to come up. It hears your angry thoughts, your angry criticism. You know what I mean? So it doesn't want to sprout. It's like afraid to sprout. So you're being encouraged to pay attention to those darker areas and ask yourself, okay, why do I feel this way? Okay, I feel this way because of XYZ. I feel like I don't have this or that, or I feel this way for whatever reason. Some of you will say, I feel this way and I don't fucking know why. All right? And so those of you who feel that way and don't know why, it's because the person that you are trying to be is not, it's almost like your soul or your, let's say avatar, it's tired of the role you're trying to play. You're not embracing who you are. You're attempting to play a different role than that which you came to do. And so your body responds, your soul responds, the entirety of you responds with the feeling of sadness or depression or, you know, having darkness and not knowing why our darkness exists. It's easier if we know why it exists, right? But if we say, I feel dark and I have no idea why, take a look at how you're living your life. Is that really who you think you came to be? You know what I mean? That feeling of, I feel dark or I feel, you know, this depression, it could be because you are attempting to live a life that is not, you know, was not suited for you. You are not being true to who you came to be. All right. So you're going to be in that darkness and you're going to be planted. That's where you're at. And you're going to grow and reach the light so that you can see who you're supposed to be. Right. Or have the courage to become who you're supposed to be. Because maybe you know, but you don't have the courage to move in that direction. I hope that helped. I love you guys so much. All the links are below. Email, social media, everything that you need to know is below. Love you guys. Bye.